Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are talking about the Bad Batch. Once again, we are moving along to the next episode. I think we're on episode 11.
Think so.
I believe so. And episode 11, oddly enough, does not have very much of the Bad Batch in it. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to get rolling with it. We're going to do a little bit of an overview really quick, and then we'll talk about our favorite parts. And then it's up to you whether you want to decide to watch the episode or not. So in this episode, we are on the planet Ryloth, and that is the home of the Twi'lek people. And what we're seeing is a very, very political back and forth tension for the grand majority of this episode. And what it is during the Clone Wars, the people of Ryloth needed help against the Separatists. And so there was clones stationed there. But now that the Empire has taken over, the people of Ryloth were under the understanding that the clones would leave. And they are noticing that the Empire is overstaying their welcome. And they're trying to basically dismantle the planet, taking away everybody's weapons. And in the process of all the tension and uneasiness, we actually get to meet Hera in this episode. She is famous for being in Star Wars Rebels. She's a green Twi'lek, but in this show, she's quite young. We're used to seeing her more as an adult in the other shows, but we do get to see her, and we get to see Chopper, which was really exciting for me because I think out of all the characters in Rebels, Chopper's really up there for me. They get captured for trying to spy on the Imperial settlements, and basically there's a clone there that's in charge. I don't remember his name. He is someone that I did not see very much in the Clone Wars that I can remember, but basically he told the Twi'lek people, hey, we found Hera kind of snooping around. We'll let it slide this time because she was in a restricted area, but please just kind of watch her. Don't let her meddle in other things, so to speak. And so after that, we find out that she was actually sent by one of the Twi'lek people, and they decide, well, we need to be prepared just in case we have to fight back against the Empire. So they leave the planet. We find out that Crosshair launches a tracking beacon to their ship, and they basically just go to the next planet over. They don't go very far. And this is where we meet the Bad Batch for this episode. The Bad Batch are on that planet, and they are responding to a job from Sid to give them weapons. Omega and Hera get a little bit of a connection there. Omega shows Hera around the ship, and then they split. So the Bad Batch leaves. They're no longer really a part of anything. And then when the Twi'lek people are on their way back to Ryloth, Crosshair shoots out their engine and they crash and are taken prisoner by the Empire. Hera gets away though. They're basically sending out a group to track her down, but the other ones get taken by the Empire. Is there anything I missed, Sarah? I think that about wrapped it up.
Well, Hera's parents were actually the ones that organized like a rescue mission to get her. And so they had essentially tried to rescue everybody who was on that ship and almost assassinated the senator of the Twi'lek people.
Yeah, well, one of the Twi'leks was basically saying to the senator, like, you're not who you used to be. You're letting these people push you around. And he had a blaster in his face the whole time.
I think that's Hera's parents.
And he actually doesn't.
Her parents are somehow, they're not the senator because the big blue guy was a senator, but they're somebody who's high up, I think. Like they're the senator's right-hand man or something like that.
Yeah, they're pretty high up there. He doesn't shoot the senator, but from far away, Crosshair actually does and takes out the senator. So that was kind of an interesting twist. I guess I can't say if he killed him or not. I'm assuming it killed him, but he did fire a shot and hit him.
Hmm.
And that was about the end of the episode. So that about wraps it up. Again, like I said, most of this episode was political type stuff of the tension between the people of Ryloth and the Empire. And then we get a little snippet of the Bad Batch near the end there. So, Sarah, what was your favorite part of this episode?
I wasn't really a big fan of this episode just because I don't have that base knowledge of the Clone Wars, so I had a rough understanding of what was going on, but it was uh not as thrilling for me, I guess you could say. So if I had to pick a favorite part, it would be the scene where Hera is teaching Omega about, when you're flying, it's not about knowing all the buttons. There's a part of it where you have to have like a feeling inside of you of, a feeling of where you're going to go and to be able to plan that out and whatnot. And when Hera leaves the area, Omega is telling, I believe she's talking to Tech, and like, did you know you have to have a feeling when you fly? And Tech's all business, so he's like, a feeling, like basically, like, it's all operational. And I like the back and forth because even though he's human, he's more robotic than the rest of the batch because they all have their personalities, right? So that would probably be my favorite part, I suppose. It's a pretty small little section, but I like the dry humor, I guess you could say.
He's kind of like the Sheldon of the show,
Yeah.
Tech.
What about you?
I don't know. I'm kind of in the same boat. It wasn't super eventful. I don't know if any of these characters line up with them, but just simply because I don't remember all their names, but there's a handful of the Star Wars books that mention a lot of characters from Ryloth. And from what I remember, there was some characters that, like, there was an orange Twi'lek that was kind of rebellious and wanting to do stuff against the Empire, and it made me wonder if that's who that was in the show. So I guess just seeing more of the people of Ryloth and potentially maybe those are the people that I read about in the books. That's kind of my own homework to do to see if that's who that actually was. But that is our Bad Batch discussion for today, for this week, I should say. So if you haven't already, please turn on notifications. That way you are notified when our next Bad Batch discussion drops. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drops a like if you like this video, and drops a comment letting us know your favorite part of this episode. And then, as always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.